Hi you guys, welcome back. If you can hear that blower in the background, I'm sorry. It's just my luck. Every time I get set up to record something, most of the time it's a blower or a lawnmower that goes off, or jets go in the air, but it's kind of without fail. It will be quiet for hours and then I'll push record, and this is how it is. And you can probably pick it up a little bit more since I don't have a microphone anymore. So sorry about that, but anyways, I wanted to thank you guys for all of your comments. I mean, I really don't know what to say. I'm so grateful for them. I wish that I could reply individually. It's brought up a lot of stuff that I would love to talk about and go into depth on in some of the like make a video out of it. A lot of your comments, not just in the last video, but comments before that, I always think, oh, you know, I need to make a video about that. So, but I really appreciate it. I don't feel worthy of it, to be honest, and sometimes it worries me a little bit because I'm like, oh man, I hope they know that I'm not like, I don't know, you know, in my 20s, I dated guys who, like, after 2 or 3 months of dating, wanted to get married. And it always kind of blew my mind because I was like, you don't even know me yet. Like, see me on a bad day. See me, like, in different environments. Like, know everything about me before you want to jump into that sort of commitment. But anyways, in some ways, I mean, obviously you guys know I'm not perfect anyways, but sometimes your comments are so kind and they humble me, and I mean, I don't feel like I deserve it, and then the other part scares me because I'm like, well, I'm gonna disappoint them somehow. So anyways, there's a lot I want to say, but I really can't right now. I don't have the time, and it's been kind of a bad month. It's definitely been a bad 2 weeks. The last video at the very end, I talked about a situation that I think should have gone differently. Again, the other individual, I'm sure, has their perspective. I know they do, and that doesn't mean that they're wrong. But I also have my perspective and how it felt to me, and it really left me in a bad spot mentally for the last almost 2 weeks now. And it really kind of demolished this vision, which was a flicker of hope for me. And I'm still just working through that. I would like to be a little more detailed than that, but I don't think right now is the time to talk about that. And like I said, I really don't have the time today right now. This morning, this is not something that I really want to say on here, and it's probably not something that a good half of you want to even hear. But being honest, like, I planned on doing a longer video this morning, but you know, I am a woman, and once a month we have a challenge, and sometimes that challenge is not a big deal, and sometimes it's a very big deal. For me, I I've always had very intense, I mean, we're adults here, you know, my period, I always had very intense ones and very heavy ones, and when I say intense, I mean, I don't just get a little bit of cramping. I've had a woman who gave birth to 11 children, home birth on top of that, and she's a nurse. So she's helped deliver other babies and do different things, like she knows pain. And she told me one time when I was in the throes of it, she was with me, and she's like, you know, you look like you're in as much pain as I ever was when I gave birth. And she goes, I really think you're going through, like, this is like contractions. And I had another doctor ask me if I was going through contractions, and I'm like, there's no way I'm not pregnant. So, but I have been hospitalized for it before, and I've also had a cyst when I was in my teens. I had a cyst on my ovaries, and it exploded, and I got rushed to the emergency room. I collapsed in the shower, and my mom found me and took me to the emergency room, and the doctor asked me on a rating scale of 1 to 10, you know, how bad was the pain, and I told him like a 7. And then he went in there and figured out it was a cyst and that it exploded and all this sort of stuff, and he's like, okay, most people would have said that was a 15. You said it was a 7, and it was honestly probably a 10. He goes, you're a tough kid. So, but because this comes monthly, and I never know when it's going to be a really bad one as far as pain goes, and that pain will last like at an intense level. It will climb its way up, but then it will get to that intensity, and that intensity will last for a few hours, and it makes me feel like a Mack truck has just run over me multiple times, backed up, forward, back up, and forward, back up, and forward. I'm completely famished after it, and it gives me this anxiety if I know that it's coming, if I know it's that time of the month, that it's upcoming. I actually get afraid. My nerves go, because I never know how it's gonna be. And I've taken pain medication, I've done a lot of things, but it doesn't work for me. It's you know, I'm throwing up, I'm having all sorts of challenges in that moment, which I will spare you those details, but it's pretty intense. So that didn't happen per se, but I mean the intensity, but I never know when it's coming either. I'm not the type that logs it or puts it on a calendar, and I didn't know, and so today I wasn't expecting, but it happened, and there's just this is all really gross, and it's not something I really want to share with the world, but this is honest reality. Living in this situation as a woman, there's like 2 things that really are very difficult that men just don't experience living in this situation. And one is this subject. You know, I was having a really hard time sleeping because the cramps were coming and going, but they weren't intense. I finally fell asleep, but I just wasn't prepared, and you know, it just made a mess. It made a mess, and then I don't have an extra pair of pants with me. I didn't have an extra pair of clean pants with me, and you have no choice but to go into public, and it's just all sorts of things. And how am I going to clean this up, and how am I going to clean these pants, and how am I going to get to the laundromat without having this or that? And I've got a bucket of water here, so I can do that, but I had to go into public regardless because of and it's everywhere. It's not just on the pants, so it's And then I just feel so drained right now. I just feel drained. I feel a little bit nervous. I don't think this is going to be an intense one, but you never know. And I don't really get, if the intensity comes, it's really within the first 36 hours. So, but I'm feeling pretty okay. And as I've gotten older, I don't have that fear quite as much. The last few years, really the last 2 or 3 years, it's not been as much, but for a time there, it was almost every single month. And if what I'm experiencing truly is like giving birth, well then imagine not just giving birth if you have 5 kids, but giving birth almost like every single month or every other month, like that intensity of pain for hours. And you know, all the blood will rush out of my face. I had it one time when I was in a foreign country and I was totally fine. Totally fine. And all of a sudden I'm in this train and the blood just leaves my face and I'm doubled over. The next stop, I get out, but I can hardly walk. These women help me to the bathroom. I'm in this bathroom and I am dying. I am moaning and I'm weeping and I'm hot, so I'm trying to take off my clothes and then I'm freezing and then I'm puking. And these 2 women were Muslim and they're outside the door just praying for me. And anyways, it's not fun to deal with, and honestly this is a subject I never wanted to share, but it's reality. I mean, it just took me 4 hours just to get back to square one with just cleaning stuff up. And I'm just tired. I'm tired from everything, but my body is tired. I can feel the iron leaving me. I can I just, and I have other stuff I have to do. I would really like to just not do any of this. My dream is a bathtub. That's my dream. You know, that's one thing that men don't have to deal with. The other thing that men don't have to deal with is, again, just being a woman, meaning being the weaker sex, physically weaker, and having men be so attracted to you. And sometimes that's really not a safe thing. That's a subject for another time, but again, I'm sorry. I might take this video down. This is too much information in my opinion. Like, there's some things that should just remain private, but I'm telling you why. I did have another idea of what I wanted to talk about today, but 4 hours just got siphoned from me, and that's all I can do. But please know that I really appreciate all your comments. They really do mean a lot to me. If I can, I would like to do some videos replying to some of those comments. I really wish that I had time to individually go through and reply to each one of you. I'll end with this. I'll tell you this, you know, there's been people in my life since I was a kid that were kind and good people. Obviously, I've had that experience since I was a kid. You know, I've had some negative experiences and I've had some good experiences. You know, and then when I went traveling around the world, I can't tell you how many amazing experiences I had. I mean, people, people who have nothing, you know, the people that we think have nothing. People are so good. People are so good all over the world, of all cultures, of all races, of both genders or sexes, whatever name you want to use. And I've been blessed by that. When I went traveling, I felt like the windows of heaven were opened in so many ways. I was so blessed. And when I got back, I was still very blessed for quite a while, and then it was like something happened in my life. I don't know what happened. But it was almost like flipping a switch, and it was so obvious because it was like the lights were on and then the lights went off, and I don't know what happened or why, but it was like from that moment on, I experienced all of this bliss and all of this amazingness in life. And then from that moment on, it was like not just the big trauma that I've alluded to and mentioned to you guys, but it was like a whole bunch of other things too. And all of this kindness and wonderfulness from people were coming my way before, and then when that switch flipped, all of a sudden, for some reason, I get like the opposite. Not all the time, but a good portion, enough that it really depresses me. It hurts me. And sometimes this is from people who should be good and who I do think are good at their heart, but for some reason, I'm just... getting the worst of it. I don't know. And so the reason I mention that is because you guys and your comments and your willingness to listen to me and see, you know, watch my channel or whatever, for whatever reason you are, whatever's motivating you to do so. But I mean, some of your comments are so deep and quite personal to me, and it's like what I knew before, you know, before that switch went off. This, what you guys are exemplifying, is what I knew before. And so it kind of like throws me back, because I'm like, well, here it is, you know, but I'm not seeing it in reality. I'm not seeing it in physical form. I'm seeing it on the other side of this video camera. And, you know, when I was blessed by it before, it's not that I deserved any of it, let's say. I mean, these were complete strangers that were just so kind, opened their home to me, fed me. I mean, people who, again, had nothing, like, you know, gave me the last portion type thing. You know what I mean? Like, in so many ways, I was without purse or script. A lot of times, people just wanted to know me and brought me into their homes and into their culture and into their life. And I was like, yeah, of course, you know, this is the way the world should be. And now I've seen this other side. But then I have you guys to remind me. And in some ways that makes me sad, because I'm like, but these people are on the other side of this recorder. Why can't I see that in the physical form in my actual real life? And then I also think, why are they so kind? I don't know what motivates you guys. I don't know what motivates anybody, but I mean, I'm kind to people too, so what motivates me? Well, okay, I think about that. We're all imperfect. I mean, it's not like I'm kind 24/7 either. Um, anyways, I appreciate you guys. I really do. And I hope that if I do make it anywhere with YouTube, if I do continue and I do succeed, um, relationships come and go, they ebb and flow. Um, that's reality. But for right now, I guess right now all we can do is just live in this moment, and I appreciate it. I don't want you to be here or feel like, I don't want to develop a sort of relationship where I'm saying I appreciate it and then like it becomes like this codependent relationship. I need to be careful of that because I do have codependency in me. So I don't want to develop that. I want you guys to be healthy and appreciate my videos, and hopefully you have some sort of value that you get out of it. And I want you to know I appreciate it, but I don't want to like push each other in a negative way. So I want it to be positive for both of us, and I hope that I can bless your life as much as you bless mine. And I will talk to you guys later.